calling the Southborough Board of Health meeting to order at 10:02 a.m. All board members are present. Good morning, Safdar.
Good morning.
So first order of business is public comment. We don't have any public, so we'll skip that. Approval of minutes from 4/23/24, 5/21/24 p.m. It should be 11/24. Oh no, it's 6/10/24 with personnel board and 6/11/24. Did anybody have any edits to any of those?
No.
Okay.
All set on my end.
Okay. So I'll move that we approve the minutes from 4/23/24, 5/21/24 p.m., 6/10/24, and 6/11/24.
Second and vote aye.
Zulek, aye.
Malinowski's aye. Thank you. Okay, and I had circulated minutes last night for executive session from 6/11/24. I have one change, actually. I actually called the meeting into order at 2:04 p.m., not 2:00 p.m.
Okay.
So if we could just update that. Barbara, I'll send you the minutes when we're done.
Okay.
Any other changes to those?
No.
So I move that we approve and release the executive session minutes from 6/11/24 as amended this morning.
And second and vote aye.
Zulek, aye.
And Malinowski's aye. Thank you. Okay, fall town meeting. So select board set a fall town meeting date. And I just want to make sure I have the right date. Oops.
September 30th.
Thank you. So September 30th at 7, which is that a Monday?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure that I'm going to be in town that day. But we probably need to make sure we have some representation from Board of Health there. So if you guys can look at your calendars. And what will be on fall town meeting will be the job descriptions as part of the SAP article. So it's not a Board of Health article, but obviously we have a stake in that. So that's for the health agent and the health director position. The other potential item that I think we need to work through is how we're going to fund the shared health agent. So we'll talk about that in August.
Yeah, I don't think I have a conflict on that day as of now.
Okay.
So I'll pencil it in.
Thank you.
Yeah, same on my end. I should be able to make it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, recommendation and appointment of health director. So I'm actually going to hand this over to Safdar because he ran the interview process for us. So Safdar, do you want to give a overview of the process that you ran and your recommendation?
Sure. So basically, Andrew and I set up a meeting with Taylor after reviewing her CV. Taylor's application obviously stood out. And I think both he and I felt that, Taylor's experience, knowledge, as well as her dedication to our community, makes her the ideal candidate for the role of health director. She knows the needs of the community already. We've worked with her before. I've worked with her both in the school district setting. All our safety officials, public safety officials work with Taylor as well. So I think we recommend her without hesitation.
Great. Thank you for running the process, Safdar, and thank you to our new fire chief too.
Yeah, he was
for
great.
him participating as well. So I've known Taylor since she started here, although I wasn't on the board yet. And I think the town is very fortunate to have her in her current role and in this future role. I think she has learned a ton. And I think she's brought a lot of value, especially on the nursing side, to public health, not only for the town of Southborough, but for greater boroughs, as well as the state, as we saw in the award that she was presented with this spring. So I think we're very lucky to have her. And I'm really excited for where this department's going. I think this is a great step in the right direction. And you know, I think this is a very natural progression for Taylor and for the department. So I'm very excited that Taylor, you were interested in taking on this role. So I'm very excited. Liz, do you have anything to say?
Well, I want to thank Safdar for, running the process. And, I'm also just echoing Chelsea's remarks, super excited to have Taylor continue to want to embrace our town's, health department and kind of lead for us. It's amazing after all we've gone through. And so again, appreciate your continued excitement to stay in the town of Southborough and expand in your role. And I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thanks, everyone.
So Taylor, assuming that you're interested, given that you applied and interviewed, do you have anything you want to say?
Thank you. I'm looking forward to hopefully continuing on. I think, like, to Safdar's point, it's been a great learning experience since I started, and really like working with all of the people that work in town and also the residents. So I'm excited to expand my role. Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to make a motion that we appoint Taylor Health Director contingent upon negotiation for non-union personnel.
Great. And I second and vote aye.
Zulik, aye.
And Malinowski, aye. Congratulations, Taylor.
Congratulations, Taylor.
Thank you.
Good luck. I'm just kidding. All right, next is health agent comparisons. So since we went to personnel board, I went back through and reviewed grade 5, which is what personnel board graded the health agent at. And grade 5 goes up to $38.52 an hour on step 15. And that is about what the health agent in Northborough makes without an RS. So I have some serious concerns about hiring this position on grade 5, because we're looking for this person to have their RS. So I think we have a couple of options. One is we update the job description to have RS in it and have personnel board regrade it, rather than say, get it within a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could potentially limit our pool with that. But that's one option. The other option is to go back to personnel board with the comps that we have and ask them to relook at the position. Or the third option could be to just do it as a contract. I guess the fourth option could be to ask Northborough to put it on their payroll, because they already have a health agent who they're paying essentially the top step for not having an RS. So I don't know what everybody's kind of reaction is to that. Or we post it, we hold, we see what we get, and then we make a decision on how we want to proceed.
I think that what you just said makes the most sense.
Okay.
I don't want to limit
I know.
the candidates either. So
Okay.
That would be my thought.
Okay.
Because it's our, I don't know, what Liz, what do you think? It's a tough decision, but.
So sorry, Chelsea, I should probably know more about this. You just mentioned that you compared it to Northborough as, being less than that, given the difference with RS and, being a registered sanitarian versus not. How does this compare to others? Like, do we think at this pay grade, we will get candidates. Like I mean, you mentioned pulling comps, but like how
Yeah.
far off are we
I
to the
mean,
comps?
So a lot of them have ranges.
Yep.
So sometimes it's hard to tell, but Taylor actually went through and identified the towns that have RSs. So let me just pull that up and I can tell you.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, do you want me to
Oh, sure. If you want,
input
go ahead.
on
Taylor.
this, or, so I don't know if you want my opinion or not. I'm happy to say
Yeah.
it, I'm happy to not, but.
No, we happy to get your opinion.
Yeah,
and if
yeah,
you-
absolutely.
So I've kind of gone through this a lot. I think they're all not bad options. I agree that I don't feel strongly about making the position being required to have an RS, because then it will limit our pool. I do think it will limit our pool. I'm just pulling up the comps at the same time, sorry. When you look at the comps, and I just pulled them up, I don't know if you want specific numbers or not. For a health agent position.
yeah,
a
why don't you give some specifics?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll just go down the list, and
Yeah.
again, some of them are big ranges, but like, and some of them are specific. And I can.
I'm sorry,
and
Chelsea, you said we were approved for up to $38 an hour. Is that what you said?
We are approved. So there's 15 steps in a band.
Mhm.
And 1 through 8 steps requires town administrator sign off. Steps 9 to 15 requires personnel board. So there's 15 steps, and the 15th step on grade 5 is 3852, which comes out to 80,000 a year.
Okay, thanks. Taylor, back to you.
Yeah, so I have a handful of comps here.
Mhm.
I would say the majority of them do not have an RS, because I did specifically look that up also. So Woburn, their person gets paid $53.85 an hour. Ashland has their RS, and their range is $37.50 to $50. Framingham gets $36.61, does not have their RS. Franklin does not have their RS, $46.98. Hudson does not, $38.39. Sudbury does not, they're $32.81 to $43.16. Wayland does, they're $39.78 to $52.38. Arlington does not, and they're 32 to 41. Burlington does, and they are 29 to 45. Natick does not, and their range is 29 to 56, was a huge range.
Mhm.
And we don't know what their person makes. Needham does not have an RS, and they're 31 to 42. And I don't, and so that's where I'll stop, because the other one's kind of unclear. And it's also important to note that a lot of towns, and I don't have the statistics on this, but a lot of towns also, the employees work 35 hours. So our range, Chelsea, can you just say what it is again?
Yep, so we are 2918 to 3852.
All right, so I would say of most of these, I'd say most start at, if we did an average, it would probably be 34. And end at 48, if we took an average, just really quick.
And that's
Without
mostly-
an RS.
Right.
Right.
But the state that's where the state is going, right? They want
They
their,
want
they
their
want you to have your
agents
RS to be
to
able
have an RS. Yes, that's correct.
to-
And I can, let me try and pull up that. Thank you so much.
So
I
I
mean-
don't, God,
Are these roles hard to come by? Like, what is like the demand? Like, is this a competitive field of getting people? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I mean, if it's a competitive field, we're not gonna get anyone. And so it makes me think that we should go back and petition to the personnel board sooner than later just to get, we are at the very lowest and asking for a higher credential than the
yeah.
majority of other partners. And so
Yeah.
for me, it's like, you don't want to limit our pool. Well, showing up with the salaries will limit our pool no matter what. And so, and if we know we want someone who's an RS, then I think we should go back with personnel and say, here are the comps, like this needs to be something different.
That's
I mean-
kind of where I lean towards too. We don't
Okay.
know where it would land, right? So,
Hmm.
so just so that you all know, the workforce standards that the state developed for a health agent, it says required at hire, registered sanitarian or equivalent eligible. And then it also says, oh my gosh, my computer is going crazy. RS within 18 months of hire is the recommendation. And then specific certifications for inspections performed, which we included.
But I just feel like
Okay,
even
yeah.
with the credentials that we listed, the salary's not enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think we need to, no matter what, we need to go back and get an increase that. And so I think we could keep the not a required RS, but in general, I don't even think this is competitive enough to get someone on
Yeah.
as a health agent.
it's not.
Yeah, so I just don't, I think we're limiting, like, we can update and add the RS as a requirement or not,
Yeah.
or within the 18 months. I think that I can go either way on, but I think no matter what, we need to go back to personnel board and say like, this isn't enough.
Well, and I also think that I don't know that we're gonna get anybody that is an RS right now.
Right.
That's what my
Because it's
concern
kind
is.
of a new requirement that the state is pushing.
Yeah. And that was the whole rationale to do it now, so that we could continue to have Dennis's experience, right, with this new person, so that we would essentially cover ourselves, right? Because we're probably gonna get somebody who doesn't have a ton of experience.
And then just as a side note, in order to get your RS, you have to have a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
You're not eligible to apply for the exam unless you have a bachelor's.
Right.
And Taylor, is the expectation that you're gonna get your RS? Is that part of?
Yeah,
that-
I have it. I signed up for it's like a 40-hour class. That's like pre-recorded. I just have to sit down and do it. I just have to find the
Okay.
time to do it, and then hopefully I'll take it in the fall is my guess.
And so if you are an RS, the health agent still needs to be an RS, is that like, we need both, right? Because,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's escaping, what's his name?
yeah, the thought behind it is that I would just have the basic knowledge, and Chelsea, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'll be in the office most of the time. And then if there was like an urgent thing that I would have to go out, I'll at least have some
Backup,
knowledge to get by. And then, but that person would be like the actual subject matter expert on.
Right. Because none of us have septic experience either.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I know, I'm like, should I get my RS? Should Taylor and I take this class
Yeah, I
together?
know.
and I think Dennis just has so much experience that it's been okay that
Yeah.
we haven't had an RS on staff, but I think we're hitting the point now where we need to
Right.
follow where the state's pushing us to go. Okay, so what I'm hearing is we would like to go back to personnel. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll clean up the comp information and send a memo
Yeah,
to them and let you know when we can get on their agenda. All right.
sounds good.
I've like been going back and forth on this one. I'm like, I just need to have a board just because I'm not sure what we should do.
So
go
can
ahead.
we, does the personnel board know about what just the data Taylor just presented? Like, is that, I mean,
So-
that's public knowledge, right? So,
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
you would have to like pull it. So Morgan helped us pull some of the stats from
Mhm.
Collins Center, and then Taylor did some digging on it too. What they know is what all what we said in the last meeting with them, Safdar, is that,
Mhm.
I was concerned that we were not gonna be competitive.
Right,
But
right.
I think what we can do in the meantime is still post it,
Yeah,
without an amount.
Yeah.
So I just need to get the IMA done.
right.
So there's, just in case you're interested, there's 3 positions posted right now for health agents on the Massachusetts Health Office Association website. One is, and you'd have to do the quick math, Chelsea, but
Yeah.
one is 35 hours a week, 78 to 88,000.
Wow.
78 to 88,000.
Yeah,
All right,
Oh,
so if we
okay.
took,
So it's like half. It's like whatever the hourly rate is. So if it's usually like 80, it's like $44 an hour. That's like the quick way to just kind of,
Oh, that's great.
in general, like
43.
if you're making $30 an hour, you're making 60,000 a year in general. That's like
Okay.
that's
so
just,
it's 43.
and then one doesn't have anything, and the other one is 62 to 78 for a 38-hour work week.
So that's 30, that's low, that's 32.
So.
Okay.
And that's one is Western Mass, not that it matters,
Okay.
but
Okay.
the other one is Franklin, Norfolk, Rentham.
Oh, it's a borough, it's a
regional.
it's a PHE position. Maybe.
Yes, it is.
That's the other
PHE.
thing is the Northborough health agent works in 4 towns. Like
Right.
this would be 2.
Right.
So, all right. Okay, meeting schedule. So we have our August meeting scheduled for the 13th. We do not have Taylor at that meeting. The Neary Building Committee reached out because of concerns around the landfill at Parkerville, like the old landfill where, is it Lundblad? Is there now field?
Mm-hmm.
So I met with Bill Cundiff, Dennis, and Taylor to kind of walk through that. And Neary Building Committee is actually going to have PAR come in, and they are the ones that manage that site. So they're going to come in and do like a presentation, Q&A, whatever, to Neary Building. And they've invited Board of Health to join. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be July 22nd. So I'll post for it if you guys can join. My guess is it's going to be at night. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting all my meetings confused. July 22nd at night. It will be, it's only Zoom. It'll be recorded. So if you can't attend, I just think it's important for us to be on the same page, because there's a lot going on with Neary Building now, and decisions are about to be made. So I just want to make sure.
can you give us like the quick, what's going on with Neary right now? Or no?
So, well, I just don't have it like specifically listed.
You want me to pull up the email?
You mean it's not on the agenda? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I can do is I can forward you the email from
Okay.
Neary Building
That'd be great.
on that, so at least you can see. Are you asking about like in general or about like this particular topic?
I guess both, but
Okay.
we can talk about it in our next meeting in August too.
Okay. But in the meantime, I'll forward you the email string. So if you guys can join, that's great. You don't have to tell me now, but I'll post anyways. And do we want to pick our September meeting?
10th? That work?
That works. Liz?
Hold on. September 10th?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be in DC that day. I mean, I just don't know I don't have my flights booked yet, so it might work.
What about the 17th?
The 17 works.
What
The
time?
only time I can't do is between 10 and 11, like this time, but
Can we do
around-
9 to 10?
Yeah, I can do 9 to 10.
I mean, the potentially updated bus schedules for next year is stressing me out right now. So we'll see about that. I have my formal complaint in, so
Oh, God.
see what happens.
Okay,
As a working mom, I'm not sure what time this bus is gonna be coming and whether I'm just gonna leave my kid out there to stay on this rock for an hour, okay? The bus will come at some
it'll
point.
come at some point.
Oh, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drive you over to the Malinowskis and you can be on the bus with Liz. Okay? Oh,
Well, I'll have 2 bus pickups, so.
I know, Chelsea, we gotta talk about that. Someone just been, I didn't realize this was happening and it's like, anyway, it's not the right meeting for this, but I'm like, come on.
Just asked to be the first stop.
I'm like, for 1 year, it's okay, but next year when I have both my kids on different buses, I've been waiting for this day of them one
Yeah.
pickup.
Wait until you have to do pickup and drop off at 3 schools.
Yep.
Yeah, well, put your kids on the bus, like the
Well,
rest of us, to get
yeah.
that extra hour.
I remember driving from Finn to Woodward like crazy.
Right? Yeah.
And I had 2 pickups, then Neary, Woodward, and
That's what's going on with the building, Liz. You'll have less
yeah.
Yeah.
issues. All right. All right, I think that's good for schedule. And then no public comment because no public. All right, so actually gonna skip adjournment because we're gonna go into executive session. So I move that the board will be entering into executive session per Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, and will not return to open session to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel per exemption 2. Is there a second?
Second vote aye.
This is a little guy.
And Malinowski's aye. All right, thank you.